So I purchased an Ableton Move. I bought into the excitement of it and I wanted to try it out for myself. I think I have some fresh takes worth your time. Maybe some of my final points might even be a little bit controversial. So before I show you why I've got this sat precariously on this drum kit, let's rewind. So the Move shows up, it's very Apple adjacent in its box, and the manual gives you almost no information, which I actually don't mind because it forces us to explore the device. So like anyone else, I start to cycle through the sounds. This is awfully bright, isn't it? Let me turn down the exposure. Much better. Now, I'm not sure about you, but a demo in a DAW, software or hardware needs to fill me with excitement. When I scanned the Ableton Live 12 demo, I was filled with wonder at what Chuck Sutton had cooked up. You can do all of this inside this thing? That's madness, and it's a good song. The Move, on the other hand, I wasn't as excited. That first demo for me is as good as it gets. Demo 2. That's the whole thing. None of these are songs that I would choose to listen to, you know? It's like Baby's first production. So straight off the bat, I'm already dubious if this thing can create exciting worlds. So I gravitate to the keys first, and we get two modes, chromatic and in key, and I can honestly say I don't really enjoy playing with either. It's so counterintuitive to any way that I would actually try and play a chord, but in key is arguably the better mode. Apart from this, you can imagine where that next chord would go, right? Except the Move makes it an octave jump from the first position. So again, it's a whole new learning curve to understand how to play this thing. It's not a deal breaker, but it will affect my workflow. And I constantly had my fingers tied up like it was Twister with my digits. Right pinky to left green, you know? As I started to make my first track, I came across the frustration that a lot of folks share in Ableton's comment section. By the way, at this point, can I just really quickly interject myself? I am indeed an Ableton fan. I know it doesn't sound like that. I would have loved to, and would still very much like to, work with the Ableton team. These critiques aren't meant to bash the device. I'm just speaking my mind of some of its limitations and what I think are oversights. So with that aside, we all know it has 4 tracks, but when you start using it, it often feels too limiting. I'm considering making a video showing how to like cheat and get more out of this device if you're interested, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments. But as for making beats, I think Boosie or Bucci's track is the best I've heard on it so far. But then you also have to ask once again, would I actually listen to this? I wanted to explore what types of music this device is best suited for, and found 3 areas in which it excels, only one of which truly lets the device shine and be the main focus. So straight off the bat, I think it's great for ambient. 4 tracks is plenty to work with. You can add chords, pads, plucks, and counter melodies. And this was my first rendition at creating and performing ambient material with Move. Oh, that reminds me, I'll be releasing new ambient work soon, and I'll be doing that with the help of today's sponsor, DistroKid. As always, there's a discount in the description below. Let's get back to the episode. I could really see it becoming the SP404 device of the ambient world. Speaking of the SP, I think that's probably a terrific collaborator for the Move. If you like to work in a tactile fashion and you own something like the Machine MPC or SP404, I think you can use this device really performatively, playing or launching melodies with the Move and running it through other gear, taking care of the drums and samples on other devices. And performance leads me to another great segue, because I think it's here where the Move would find its final home for me, on stage or on the social media stage as a launching device for background melodies or ambient drones. I paired it with Roland drums, set up a basic loop on the Move using some chords and then background pads, which by the way took way too many failed attempts than I care to address. And then I got to performing over the top of it. This is a really portable device which would easily fit into your carry-on if you're a traveling musician or a DJ. With those final points wrapped up, you might ask why I haven't mentioned about its capabilities as a controller, and to be honest, I have. In fact, just today I was watching Nervous Cooks create a video on the RX1200, an emulation VST of the SP1200, and I got excited about perhaps using the Move as a controller for launching the RX1200, but then I thought, this is a £399 device. If I wanted to map or control parameters in Ableton, I'd find a used push on eBay or use a £45 launch control or a £100 launch key mini. Even my launch key MK4 costs less than the Move. It's at this point that I couldn't help but feel a bit frustrated by the Move's price tag. It's a limited device that still awaits updates, and it lacks features like chord triggers and auto pan. It also only includes 3 instruments, drift, wavetable, and the drum rack. Plus, Ableton has confirmed that it will always be limited to 4 tracks. This raises the question, did Ableton find a way to make people pay £399 for what is essentially Ableton Live Lite? That also has limitations. Something to think about. Let me know your thoughts on Ableton Move. Perhaps I'm just growing old and finding things to complain about, but so far, I'm not sold. As always, thank you so much for swinging by, and I'll see you next time.